the oldest locomotive designed by a man called Sir Nigel Gresley. Many of you will know him. He's best known as a designer and builder of Mallard and Flying Scotsman, but he did much more than that. This locomotive, as I say, is the oldest, not only in existence, but as you can see today, it works. This is a major achievement today for us. The last time the locomotive turned the wheel in earnest was in 2018, which is, well, 8 years ago. We thought the locomotive would be running again for her centenary, which would have been in 2021, but it didn't prove to be the case. The overhaul proved to be much more comprehensive, needed to be much more comprehensive than we had anticipated, and we suspect that what's actually happened is that the work that's been done on the engine is probably of a scale that's never been done before, certainly for the locomotive in preservation, and it's been in preservation ever since 1963. So this is a very, very special day, and I want to start by thanking the North Norfolk Railway. There's a Freudian slip for those of you who know my past. To thank the North Norfolk Railway for making this possible. As I say, this was a very long overhaul. Surprise, surprise, it was also a very expensive overhaul. And that, for a small society like ours, was a great challenge. However, it was really Keith Ashford, the chief mechanical engineer at the time, along with the general manager Graham Huckins, who came up with a solution which their board was prepared to sanction, which enabled the completion of the locomotive to take place. And it has been funded by the North Norfolk Railway for the last element of the overhaul, and in return for that they will get the opportunity to run the loco for a period of time without any payment for it. So that's a win-win for both of us. However, there are many individuals that I also wish to thank. And staying with the North Norfolk, I've already mentioned Keith Ashford. If it hadn't been for Keith, I don't think we would be here today. Keith got with him today as his fireman, and forgive me because I've only just been told this, and that is Alex Harper Boren. Have I got that right? Harper Boren. I can't even read my own writing. Who is the running shed foreman at Weybourne and has been responsible for the final completion of the locomotives over the last few months. And his father, Alan, is the locomotive manager. As I say, we're grateful very much to the North Norfolk Railway, and I'd ask you to give them all a round of applause. Thank you. Having said that, they are by no means the only people that I need to thank. My own trustees on the Gresley Society have been extremely supportive. I think of David McIntosh, who was the locomotive manager for much of the overhaul, initiated the work, and has lived with the pains and challenges of this engine for a long, long period. I feel that because I feel I've done so myself, but not to the degree that David has. More recently, one of our newer trustees at the time, Mark Allett. Now, why am I mentioning Mark? Well, it was Mark who came in about 3 years ago and came up with a number of innovative ideas that were going to help support the funding of the overhaul. Most specifically was the creation of a club which we called the N2 Overhaul Completion Club, which asked that people would donate a lot of money, £1,000, which is not small money in anybody's language, to help support the overhaul of the engine. And I'm grateful to, not only to Mark, but to the many members of the club, a number of whom are here today, for your support. Again, had that not happened, we would have been in a very difficult place. So we are very, very grateful indeed for the support that we've had from you, and indeed for our wider membership, because whilst that might be the headline, in fact many people over a number of years have supported us, particularly financially. So for that we are also extremely grateful. So if your hands are not tingling too much, again, a round of applause for everyone who has made this possible today. Now you'll be pleased to know that I'm coming pretty much to the end. However, I do want to just return to Sir Nigel Gresley. I mentioned that this engine missed its centenary in 2021. However, it has not missed the 150th birthday of Sir Nigel Gresley. It was celebrated on the 19th of June, which was exactly 150 years since he was born. So I think it is very appropriate that we see the engine steaming again, and we remember the locomotive's designer who brought it into being. That's really, I think, all from me, probably too much. But I do hope that you all enjoy the day and join with us in celebrating the return of this very, very special locomotive. Oh, and incidentally, doesn't she look marvellous in her paint today? Again, a tremendous tribute to the team at Weybourne. Now, we are going to do this in appropriate style. We've called this a launch. I'm not sure whether you can actually launch an engine. I don't think it's a terribly good idea, even though we're near the coast. However, we are going to involve liquid, and I'm going to ask our president if he would like to, in ship style, actually mark the return of the locomotive into service. So John Cameron, our president.